This is the Ramana Maharshi Satsang. Listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Know yourself. Welcome. I'm Richard Clarke. I'm not a guru or a teacher. Ramana's teaching is deep and profound, and I just want to share it. Today, I'll read from and comment on the Ashtavakra Gita, chapter 17, verses 9 to 12. And in this chapter, Ashtavakra is talking about the true knower, the sage. 17:9. There is no attachment or non-attachment for one in whom the ocean of the world has dried up. His look is vacant, senses still. His actions have no purpose. The sage is neither asleep nor awake. He neither closes nor opens his eyes. Thus, for the liberated soul, everywhere there is only this. The liberated soul abides in self alone and is pure of heart. He lives always and everywhere free of desire. Seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, taking, speaking, waking, the great soul exerts neither effort nor non-effort. He is truly free. So let's break these verses down. 17:9. There is no attachment or non-attachment for one in whom the ocean of the world has dried up. His look is vacant, senses still. His actions have no purpose. Who is there to be attached or not attached? The ocean seems to wash over us, but we are untouched. We don't do anything. It is all just the universe unfolding. What is it like to feel this peace where the world and the life as it unfolds is all right? Everything in its place and happening as it should. Reach for this. Live in this. 17:10. The sage is neither asleep nor awake. He neither closes nor opens his eyes. Thus, for the liberated soul, everywhere there is only this. The body sleeps. Do you? The mind is active when awake or dreaming, inactive in sleep. The body has senses that feed the mind. Do you have senses? You see the world with the mind. When there is no mind, what happens to the separate world? When your vision is non-objective and there is only the one, where is this or that? There's only the self, only you. 17:11. The liberated soul abides in self alone and is pure of heart. He lives always and everywhere free of desire. When you notice and know that you are the self and only the self, this is your home where you always reside. You're not touched by anything. You are free of desires, longing, and regret. You are free, unbounded. In 1712, seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, taking, speaking, walking, the great soul exerts neither effort nor non-effort. He is truly free. The body and its attributes, like senses and activities, are not you either. What effort is it to simply exist, to be? You have no need to do anything or not do anything. Just be. These verses express the immense freedom that comes with knowing who you really are, the self, vast, timeless, untouched by anything of the world, knowing but untouched by it. So know yourself and be always free and at peace. And now we have a video from Nome.
Every illusion of duality is nothing more than the effect of misidentification, which alone constitutes ignorance or delusion. Non-duality is the natural state of self-knowledge. In non-dual truth, since you are not the body, nor a mind or an ego entity, you have never been born. For the unborn, there is no perishing. In non-dual truth, since the self is both infinite and indivisible, and you are that, why, then free from any other misidentification, there is nothing created, nothing objective. The Maharshi has given the instruction that one ought to abandon the objective outlook and know oneself. For without knowing oneself, one is only dreaming an illusion. If you know yourself, then there is neither dream nor dreamer. That is, no individual, embodied or otherwise, is born, nor is there any objective dream or world. The thing to do for self-knowledge or self-realization, as we call it, is to actually inquire as to who you are. Put the question to yourself, not so much the phrase, "Who am I?" but the introspection implied by it. Questing inward to know the nature of your own being, the innermost consciousness, which is also the abode of bliss. Every conception of dualism, every notion of being bound, that is to say, every apparent cause of suffering, is due only to misidentification. If we inquire, "Who am I?" and know our real nature, the very cause of misidentifying the cause of imagination, is absent. Then we know with certainty that there is no samsara, repetitive cycle of birth, death, and illusion, and that only Brahman, the vast absolute, is real. That alone exists, and that alone is the self. So the Chandogya Upanishad gives the instruction, Tattvamasi, that you are. This is to be known with a knowledge that is self-knowledge, non-objective knowledge. Known in the same way that you know that you exist right now. You have always had this knowledge. It is not time-bound as in past, present, or future. This knowledge is innate. We can say this knowledge ought to know itself. That is, your being ought to repose in itself, free of imagination. Inquire within yourself and determine what your identity is, what your actual existence is. As a hint in the right direction, abandon the misidentification, the tendency to mix up yourself with what is not you. That is, with anything that is objective, anything that is discontinuous or sporadic, anything that is not eternal, anything that has birth and death, anything that depends on your senses to be perceived, anything that depends on thinking to be conceived. If you abandon such, you will really have given up nothing. For giving up the unreal is not like giving up something. And without gaining anything anew, you'll find yourself established in the self as the self, which is the greatest peace, and is the state in which reality knows itself, where God knows God.
And now we will meditate for a while, inquire. You exist. You exist, and you know that you exist. And so inquire within yourself. Investigate. What happens when I stop seeking purpose in my actions and simply allow them to arise? Can I rest in awareness without needing to label my experience? In what ways do my desires keep me from recognizing the completeness of the present moment? What remains when I stop trying to control my experience? Who am I? What is my identity? What do I take myself to be? What am I? Am I a body? Am I a mind? And I'm an ego? Or am I that which knows all of these? What is the nature of my existence? What actually exists? All right. Let's close with our chant. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. And we have a few minutes left because I kind of hurried it along.
Wow, that was so good.
Yeah, I
So,
particularly found the inquiry questions today good for me.
yeah, yeah. And Nomi's talk was fabulous.
Yes, as usual.
Yeah. And this time I heard even more, the question I am, who am I? It just meant to turn you within and not to just keep asking it as a question,
Right.
then just to do the best you can to stay turned in.
Uh-huh. And one of the things I'm sure of is that being turned in is not a matter of thinking about being turned in, but
No,
it's still there is a feeling there, I know I exist. And if I look within me, there is this sense of existence that is always there. And kind of the more I can concentrate on that sense of existence, then it seems like the deeper the inquiry is.
yeah, and it's all grace.
Yes, it's all grace.
Yeah,
And the other thing I find about looking at this sense of existence is that it is always there. And, it's great to have a meditative focus that is always available. When you're doing mindfulness, breath is kind of a uh, easy substitute for what is always there, even when there is no breath.
when I consider that, I know I am,
Yes,
it's the I know part that's got to go, and it's just the I am.
right. Yes,
It's the
yes,
end of a duality.
yes, yes. So again, we are so blessed to have been given this teaching and to start to have some idea how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. So subtle, so deep,
Yes.
so easy.
Except for that troublemaking mind.
Yeah, the experiencer.
Yes, you experience it. And once you start experiencing it, kind of how can you not experience it?
Yeah, with grace, I guess. Grace.
Okay, well,
Well,
very good.
so good to be together again.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we'll see you next week. And hopefully by then I can have my Zoom problems fixed.
Wonderful, and I'm glad you're feeling well. Both of you look great.
Yes,
Doing
so do
good.
you. So do you. Anyway,
Thank
Good
you.
to see you, Richard.
namaste.
Thank
Namaste.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.